So conspiracy theorists, quote unquote, are the only real journalists left in the world today. Welcome back. Be sure to subscribe. Let's get right to it. First topic. So Bill Maher loves him some Trump. They had dinner together. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
At one point, we were walking through his it is an amazing tour of the whole house. And I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, but it must have been something with the 2020 election, because I know he used the word lost. And I distinctly remember saying, wow, I never thought I'd hear you say that. He didn't get mad. He's much more self-aware than he lets on in public. Look, I get it. It doesn't matter who he is at a private dinner with a comedian. It matters who he is on the world stage. I'm just taking as a positive that this person exists, because everything I've ever not liked about him was, I swear to God, absent, at least on this night with this guy. Bob, Kid Rock, told me the night before, he said, if you want to get a word in edgewise, you're going to have to cut him off. He'll just go on. Not at all. I've had so many conversations with prominent people who are much less connected, people who don't look you in the eye, people who don't really listen because they just want to get to their next thing, people whose response to things you say just doesn't track, like, what? None of that with him. And he mostly steered the conversation to, what do you think about this? I know, your mind is blown, so's mine.
So yeah, obviously the guy just completely loves him some Trump now. It's just, that's usually what happens whenever people end up meeting the guy. You always, oh yeah, I met him and he was just so personable, just such a great guy. I couldn't believe it. And see, they want to talk about, but why can't he be like this on the world stage? You know, like, why can't he be that guy? It's because the guy doesn't take any shit, you know? So he wants to put it out on the world stage. Yeah, I don't take shit, and I'm going to be that guy who doesn't take any shit. Because that's just who he's got to be. You know, when you're on the world stage, you can't be Mr. Nice Guy all the time, because what do people do? They take advantage of other people's niceness, right? So yeah. The guy is obviously a great guy who just, you know, very personable, very in tune with everything that's going on. Obviously, like Bill said, he's very aware, he's very self-aware. But yeah, when he's out in public talking to people and setting the tone for America, of course he's gonna be a little edgy and, you know, talk some shit. Because he doesn't take shit. That's why, folks. That's why. So don't give me this whole, oh, mean tweets. No. He's just setting the tone, folks. But all right, let's get to the next topic. So a colonel at Fort McCoy Garrison in Wisconsin doesn't want to put up the Trump portraits, allegedly. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
So I think this is a great milestone, not only for the Army, for the community. I think that this is a milestone, you know, and it's a great one in general, not only being the first female commander of Fort McCoy, but being the first minority that commands this installation. I think that as a society, you know, we are looking to integrate our society and work better with each other. And I think that showing the public that we could have diversity in every, you know, part of our society is an important thing.
Yeah, so these are the types of people that you're dealing with, you know, where like, these are the types of people that need to be eliminated from any sort of high-profile position immediately. The people that are just taking upon themselves to inject their own feelings and what they want into a situation, like, oh, screw that, I'm just going to do what I want, even though it's completely not acceptable to just take it upon yourself to do your thing, especially in the military. When something like that happens in the military, people die. You know, if that happens out on the fucking field, or the field of battle, or people are battling out, and somebody's just going to go rogue and, oh, I want to do this. See, that's when people die, folks, and we can't be having that in the military or any sort of high-ranking official in any job, you know, because these are the people that they get offended, and next thing you know, they're just ruining it for everybody. Those are the worst. The people who they get offended and then it's just like, well, this is going to be how it is because I'm a piece of shit who wants to just change it for everybody. I do what I want to do. You know, those are the worst people. They need to be eliminated from any sort of government job. That's it. Because the government needs to be real cut and dry, and it needs to not be corrupt, and there needs to be no people like rogue actors, right? It just needs to be people who are by the book and want to make America great, basically. But all right, let's get to the next topic. So a teen allegedly offed his parents so he could off Trump. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
But I do want to warn you, the details that we learned, some people may find disturbing.
The 17-year-old is accused of killing his mom, Tatiana Kassup, and his stepdad, Donald Maher, more than a month ago, back on February 11th. Court records say he shot his mom in an upstairs hallway, his stepdad in an office. Police say he left the bodies where they died. Then Kassup lived in the house for nearly 2 weeks before he fled. Police found a camera memory card that showed about a week after the murder, Kassup was lighting candles in the office where his stepdad's body was sitting and recording the dead body. Police say at one point Kassup stood next to his stepdad's body with his phone out as if taking pictures, all while videoing himself with another camera. So Kassup then said,
Yeah, it's just so sickening in America these days how we have such a mental health issue, and there's just so many different types of mental health issues, right? There's this kid who's obviously a psycho, who's going to satanic cults. There's the whole trans thing and the woke mind virus, you know, that TDS, that's obviously a mental illness. You just got all this crap going on right now, and the drug, you know, epidemic where these drug addicts are on the streets that they want to say are homeless. Now, these are just drug addicts that basically hate just society, right? So it's all a mental health problem. This story about this kid's obviously more mental health. I don't know what's causing all the insane mental health. I mean, maybe you know, maybe you have some sort of idea, but there's so many different forms of mental health issues these days that it's hard to really pinpoint what it could be, you know? Obviously, this seems like it could be a mixture of, you know, just a weird sicko kid and a kid with TDS. I don't know, you know, we need to figure out what's causing the mental health, or it just might be just things that can never be fixed, right? Like drugs. The drug addicts on the streets. Those people are never going to be fixed unless they absolutely hit rock bottom to where like they're basically about to die and they just have some sort of epiphany. Those people on the streets are just so gone. You know, they're so gone. But yeah, I mean, God, I think we just have to realize that some people are just born, you know, assholes like this kid, and they're just terrible people. Some people are just born terrible people, folks. You just have to resign yourself to that fact. But all right, let's get to the next topic. So Trump called out the fake news media in the most hilarious way. Go ahead, take a look at the clip.
Okay, come on. You know the fake news? This is the fake news.
Hey, what's up, everyone? How are you guys? Good morning.
I just love how anytime the guy gets a chance, he gets to call out the fake news media, he does it. You know, it's hilarious. He brings his granddaughter in and just says, oh, you know the fake news. Meet the fake news. It's just hilarious. But I'm glad he does it because he needs to just keep calling out the fake news, because he knows with those people standing right there, you know, doing the interview, he knows that no matter what he says, it doesn't even matter. They're just going to go write whatever they feel to push their agenda or push their TDS for their audience, you know. These aren't even real journalists anymore, folks. The only real people actually doing journalism would be the quote-unquote conspiracy theorists, right? They're the only people actually trying to get to the bottom of something, you know. Back in the day, journalists, they wanted to get to the bottom of the story. They wanted to know the actual truth of what was really going on. And now journalists, they just don't give a shit about getting to the bottom of it, and they just, oh, we're putting out the worst Trump story we possibly can, right? But the conspiracy theorists out there, they want to know, did we go to space? Did we go to the moon? Or, you know, who shot JFK? They want to know the real stuff, right? So conspiracy theorists, quote unquote, are the only real journalists left in the world today. And these fake news people, they're the farthest thing from journalists. But all right, that's it for today. Be sure to subscribe, like, and we'll be seeing you.